What's up, guys? Welcome to another episode of the Quarantuhan series. We are on our third week, but it is episode 2.5 because this is part 2 of my conversation with Bianca Gonzalez-Intal. It really turned out to be a pretty long and very interesting, very insightful episode. I hope you guys have enjoyed the first episode. If you guys haven't watched it yet, you can check out the description. There is a link to the first part of this episode. But then if you haven't yet and you want to watch this one first, go ahead. So here it is. Here is episode 2.5 of the Quarantuhan series with Bianca Gonzalez-Intal. Enjoy! I mean, we can always say that there are problems in life, but like this year, 2020, is really the year that you can say there are big-ass problems happening. How do you keep living life? I could feel the pain in your posts recently about ABS-CBN shutdown. You had one guy, it said na sa lahat ng kumukutya. By the way, this is the first time I've heard the word kumukutya. Kumukutya at
What? Are you
nagdidiwang sa
serious?
nangyayari. Yeah, is that something normal? Paano ba to is a
Kumukutya?
normal phrase? But kumukutya is, honestly, I had to Google it. Is that something you
Oh,
use like in your everyday phrases?
not in my everyday phrases, but it's a
To
pretty
drive the point, no?
common Tagalog word. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Like you wouldn't, like let's say your kids are fighting, you're gonna be like, "Oy,
No, no, no.
wag mo
Not
ang
in
ikutya
conversation.
yung kapatid mo." Okay, but anyway, sorry. The point was, so you're talking about that. I could really feel the pain in your posts because you post really what your opinions are and how you feel. How do you keep living life? How do you keep like it's a challenge I'm facing. Like I'm gonna interview Bianca, but then like there are bigger problems than like making a show and then talking. But how do you keep living on? I don't know. I'm not sure of the right phrase, but how
Sorry,
do you
so
keep
I
doing
want
the
to
things
know
you do?
what did you say that was your problem? How do you keep doing the things you do despite the problems that we are facing? Is that your
Yeah, kasi
question?
I,
What are
I
you
feel kind
struggling
of
with now?
guilty sometimes like the reason why I became a host and the reason why I wanted to go to mix and everything. I wanted music. Walang ano dun eh. Like wala masyadong drama dun eh. It's artist news, may konting pagka showbiz. Like you don't have to get down and serious and stuff. But then I'm starting to feel a little guilty with the other things I'm doing. I'm also a dance fitness instructor. Like okay, let's exercise and stuff. But then parang there are so many big problems. How do you parang, I don't know if it's tricking yourself into forgetting about the problems muna. How do you live? This a question makes sense.
Yes, definitely. It definitely makes sense. No, you don't trick yourself. I think that based on experience and based on people I've also asked similar questions to, the way to go about it is really to not deny any negative feelings that you have. Don't push it away. Yes, it's so sad when you hear the news or it makes you so angry. So yes, just feel the feelings. Pero ika nga nila, di ba, daanan mo lang, wag mong tambayan. And with regards to how do you keep doing what you do, for example, your work for Mix, which is interviewing artists and bringing stories to the
Stories, yeah.
people that you who listen to you, or you said you were a dance instructor. So, di ba we're considered non-essential because we work in the
Yeah.
media.
Uh-huh.
Um, but what I've come to realize is there are people who depend on us for what we can give. So, for example, when someone watches your interview with an artist that they love and idolize, and you are able to bring out a story from that artist that has never been heard before or that gives so much kilig and joy to the one watching,
Mm-hmm.
that's definitely worth it. I mean, like, in a troubled world, to make someone watching happy and you know that you had a hand in that, that is such a huge contribution. As a dance instructor, my gosh, I think for me, even though fitness is deemed non-essential, wow, now more than ever, we all know that health is literally
Yes.
wealth and it's our top priority. And to do something like what you do, to make fitness fun for people, to make them ganado to even get fit, is a huge contribution. So what I mean to say is don't ever think that what you are doing is superficial compared to the problems of the world right now. I think you always have to go back to the purpose of why you do what you do and what value that gives to the world. And tayo lang naman makakasagot if we're doing things for a superficial reason or we're doing things with a purpose. Eh. Parang the person doing it is the only one who can answer that. So
Yeah.
that is how you keep going. It's because you know that the work that you do gives value to people's lives.
Wow, that really, that was wow. That was a wow answer. I never thought of it that way, and ang ganda ng perspective that it gives me. Kasi if you're talking about basic stories or about a specific song, parang I sometimes forget na it's all connected pala na you can actually help people without having to be political. Like doing other things, because for a person, there are lots of parts of his life. It's not all political. There are times that he wants to be happy. There are times he wants to be informed. Like there are many things to that, and to be able to provide for one of those departments, like what you do in your show, then that really does give me hope. And thank you, Wow. Thank you for your answer. I have nothing. I have nothing else to say to that.
Oh, for sure, for sure. I guess another analogy would be like we personally felt the shutdown of ABS nung May 5 because our artists here at home love Showtime. Showtime and Vice Ganda is the only thing that has been keeping them happy and sane despite being locked in the home. And when that went away, the effect on them was huge. Like, so when Showtime came back through GPTV and Kapamilya channel, the sound of the Showtime song and Vice Ganda laughing from the kusina where they really watch was really like, wow, it brought back a certain energy and joy and part of their normal routine that that they lost for a long time. And so I say that analogy because like Vice Ganda making patawa may not seem essential, but making people happy at a time like this is
Very essential.
huge. I mean, like,
Yeah.
wow, we can't just be sad all the time and scared watching the news. You really need to be happy. And we, I love it that we all do different things because, yun nga, iba-iba tayo ng personality. Some will find joy in music. Some will find joy in more K-dramas. So, kumbaga, there really is a space for everyone to do what they're meant to do.
Now that brings me back to your kumukutya caption. You said in your Instagram that yun, sa lahat ng kumukutya at nagdidiwang sa nangyayari sa aming network, God bless you. Oh, you said God bless you, nothing else. God bless you. At sana hindi ninyo ever maramdaman ang pinagdadaanan ng kumpanya ngayon. How do you, like, there are people, yeah, on the other side who would find joy in the problems that we're facing, that the problems that ABS is facing. How do you deal with these bashers na to be able to say God bless you to them?
Parang, you know how you don't like people making you mura or talking shit about you. So you also don't talk shit about other people. Parang ganun lang. And I think, like that quote of MLK, that you cannot fight hate with hate. You can only find hate with love. You can only fight hate with love. So, syempre, initially, that's not how you feel about people who are, when you scroll your feed, right? Tama lang na nangyari yan.
You're not gonna like those ones.
Yeah, no, of course not. But I mean, of course, when you scroll it, my initial reaction is that, oh, God bless you. It's not like that. Syempre, tao lang ako. My initial reaction is, loko ka ba? Why are you so happy? But when you do step back, and for me, in a public post like that, I just posted it because I wanted to thank those who were sincerely reaching out with messages of support, but also I wanted to address those who are happy about it and hoping na if I tell them, God bless you, that they'll sort of like take a step back and think, bakit nga ba ako happy na nag-shutdown sila? Sana it made them think. And if they're still happy, then I just wish nga that nothing like that would ever happen to them because it's painful.
How do you balance it though? The acknowledging, because you've also, going through PBB and everything. You've gone through your fair share, more than enough of bashers and hatred online. How do you find the balance of when to ignore and when to acknowledge these comments?
That's hard. It's still hard until now. But I can say, I can't say hindi na siya masakit because it's still always masakit when you read something. But I do have developed some sort of filter nga na parang even if I see it, I'm able to guard my heart. I'll get sad about it or upset about it, but it won't like ruin my entire day. It also depends a lot on our mood. I'm sure you can relate to this that sometimes talaga they just catch you in a bad mood and sasagutin mo talaga sila. Versus sometimes that you're in a more chill mood and then you read it and then you're like, oh, okay. Definitely, if it's the replies na talagang minumura ka lang. Kasi you know when someone replies to you and they're really just hateful. Alam
Wala
mo
lang, as
versus
in,
someone
word vomit
who,
lang.
yeah, yes, versus someone who you know is giving constructive criticism. I always say this in talks about social media that I give, that I actually appreciate bashers in the sense that I'm not a fan of blocking people because I don't know, I just believe that if you hear the good stuff, you're also supposed to hear the bad stuff. Parang I appreciate bashers because they give me the other point of view and they keep my feet on the ground. Um, so I guess that is how I look at it.
For me, I don't have, thank God, and I don't have like a following of haters naman and bashers or that's why like I'm not that big that they're gonna bash me. But then I
Grabe ka
think being
naman.
on like going on television and putting yourself in that public platform, just sharing the most hurtful comment I've seen about myself was mukhang hindi siya mabango. And I've been trying to I just tried to laugh it off. But then like after a while, bakit? Parang nagigiligo naman ako. Like I really pride myself as one of those Filipinos who takes a bath at least once a day. But then yun nga, like what you said, putting that filter, hindi naman ako nasaktan. Medyo natawaga ako. But then after a while, huh? But mukha akong hindi mabango? And there was another comment just sharing my favorite, my family's favorite comment about us because we would give talks on finance like when we were in grade school. There was one that said, kainin mo stocks mo. And this, I know naman that there's no, parang, okay, it's not like you're asking me to improve on anything. It's just kainin mo stocks mo because we're talking about money. Wala lang, I find it funny. And it brings me to my question.
Wait,
Are
sorry,
you
before
gonna,
you move to
sorry.
your question.
Yeah.
See, kainin mo stocks mo is clearly someone who is just lang,
Wala
throwing
lang.
hate.
Uh-uh.
But the other one who sent an observation, mali man niya, hurtful man the way that he or she said it, you know it's some sort of constructive criticism. And that's another thing I also just learned with age about bashers. From someone who posted it long ago, you have to be aware of your flaws and weaknesses and you have to acknowledge it. So for example, live PBB show, and I'm wearing, let's say, a short dress, and then a commercial comes, and then I check my Twitter, and then there it is, bam, bam, bam. Ano ba yan? Ang itim-itim mo, ang itim ng tuhod mo, ganyan. So these are bashing
Wait, has this
comments.
happened? Or just,
Yeah,
oh,
plenty
wow.
times.
Okay.
So in different forms. So it's more of that's why I say you have to acknowledge your flaws. Because for example, if people bash me saying ang itim-itim mo, or if people bash me saying ang itim ng tuhod mo, but it's true, it shouldn't hurt me because I know it to be true for myself. And so the ang itim-itim ko for me is not hindi siya insulto kasi I love being brown, so I love my skin color. Sila lang
Observation na
yung
lang.
they think it's negative. But for example, I'm given a comment nga like, ang itim ng tuhod mo. Okay, so what can I do? Will I scrub harder? Will I like, alam mo yun, parang,
I don't think it's dirt naman eh. Di ba DNA na yun?
yeah, it's DNA, exactly. But you get what I mean? If
Yeah.
you are aware of your flaws and weaknesses. Like for example, I remember when I was a new host, magulo yung kamay ko. Parang I was doing too many things with my hands. And so when I would get bashed for that, I didn't get hurt because I knew when I watched, kunyari, a taped on air, oo nga, gulo nga. So parang I just had to improve on it. So that's also another, I guess, tool. We will get hurt less from bashers. Like, for example, on the point that that person said that about you na mukhang hindi, what is it, mabango ba?
Mukhang hindi ako mabango.
Exactly. Baka the episode she watched, you were just oily and
Hindi
you
ako
need to
yung,
blot.
or
See,
yung hair ko hindi naka-fix.
Or
Perfect.
something,
That's
di
right.
ba?
That's right.
Parang
That's right.
sometimes these bashers just don't say it in a nice way, but it's something na we'll check, okay, ganun ba ako? Parang you do a quick self-check, parang ganyan. Not that I'm saying you don't look mabango ha, because in
Yeah,
powder
yeah.
blue today, you do look, but what I'm saying
Oh,
is,
thank
diba, if
you.
we're bashed for things that we actually are, then it won't hurt us.
Yeah, like example, the dark skin. If it's something you're okay with, naman. Like, if someone were to tease me na parang I would get some na parang mukhang Atenista or raw grabe Atenista. I'm okay.
Yes,
I
that's
am.
very, very
So
cool. Exactly.
thank you very much. Parang ganon.
And the negative connotation is from their end, not on your end.
Yeah, yeah. Are you worried of your kids ever like seeing a comment and then asking you about it, or has that ever happened?
No, she's too small pa. But as for comments, actually my kids have gotten bashed also. Can you imagine? They're
Oh,
not even on social media, just through
wala pa silang
my...
ginagawa.
Yeah,
But
wala. That's
you can
how...
bash anyone about anything naman eh.
Yes, exactly. So, no, I'm not worried about them getting to read it in the future. I think, yun nga, kasi it comes as part of
Of life.
the territory of a public
Yes.
job. And my husband happens to be in a public sphere also with his share of bashers. So,
Yeah.
parang wala, it comes with it. So, that's something we'll have to explain to them in the future.
Yeah. Well, I think that's good. There are different parenting styles, but then I would agree with that. Na you don't really hide it or block it if it's a
Oh,
reality,
for
man. If
sure.
it's a reality in
And,
in the world you're in.
and you can't block it kids today, ha? I mean, they are
Oh, really?
so smart. And it's the world that they are gonna grow up in. It's a digital
Yeah.
world that they are growing up in. So, wala. You just have to be upfront with them with everything.
For a few last questions, I just thought of very random things that I would imagine other people would think about when it comes to like asking a celebrity. And I feel like this is the only chance that questions like these are gonna be asked. First one, how do you feel when you see yourself on billboards or internet ads, or you see your face randomly lang and you weren't expecting to see it? What is like the initial reaction? Kilig ka pa ba or parang sanay ka na?
Okay, billboards are very different from digital ads.
Okay.
I think, feeling wise.
Okay. So
Because
billboards muna, billboards.
yeah,
Driving,
billboards will
boom,
never
big Bianca
never
right
get
here.
old.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, it will never get old. And I'll tell you an Ateneo story. I was a freshman in Ateneo when I landed my first modeling job. It was for Pantene shampoo. A freshman, super freshy. And you know the feeling of a freshman. It's like, what is this big world? I don't know
Yes.
anyone. So,
I would plan my outfits back in first year.
really?
Yeah.
Wow.
I think mukha akong babango back then. Because I planned
Mukha
it.
ka pa rin mabango pa naman.
Thank you.
So I remember I was a freshman. I was in the bathroom in Burke Hall.
Mm-hmm.
And I was in the stall because I was peeing. And girls outside were talking kasi I had newly modeled, and on Katipunan, di ba they put tarps by the lights? So it was my
Off
face on
Ateneo
Katipunan.
or
Yeah,
Ateneo side
of
or other
Katipunan.
side? Okay.
On
Yeah.
Katipunan, right? Parang it was all the tarps with like the new face of Pantene, ganyan. Sunod-sunod. So word got out that it was a Ateneo freshman named Bianca or something. So I remember being in the stall and girls walking in, and they were talking about me. Yung nasa parang yung nasa Pantene billboard dyan sa labas. Oo, dito daw sa Ateneo freshman. She's not so pretty naman. Yung parang normal lang naman yung itsura, ganyan. So imagine I was in the stall peeing. I was hearing this. I was like,
Oh my
iniisip ko, I
God.
remember, lalabas na ako ng stall.
Yeah.
Or
So did you wait?
I waited. I waited for them to go out. I'm a non-confrontational person, needless to say. That for me depicts the feeling of seeing myself in a billboard. It's surreal. It's like it's not you're looking at. I still get that feeling to this day. In terms of digital ads, it's weird because now everything's on digital. So parang it's so hard to tell the difference of
Oh,
a
wait lang.
Instagram post.
You never found out who those girls are. Like
I
you
never
never
did.
met them in a class or anything. Wow.
No
Okay. I would
idea.
lift my feet if that happened. I mean, if I were you, then I'd be like, oh my gosh, I'm not here. I'm not at the CR. Wait, okay, sorry. So you're
No
saying
naman, they
digital
also
ads?
wouldn't know naman that I was inside eh. So,
Okay. Tama,
digital
tama.
ads are different because now everything that you see on Instagram or like on Facebook looks like an ad, right? So it's different now if you see a picture with logos because it's on the screen and parang it's very easy to make art cards now eh. Although of course if it's like an official shoot with a brand and you see it as an ad banner somewhere, of course it's still it's still surreal. Whenever I see things like that, I am just always so grateful that I get to do the job that I have.
Okay, next question. Now since you're married to JC Intal, of course, who's one of my idols. I grew up watching him in the
Wow.
UAP
Thank
games.
you. How
For
old were
all,
you when he was in college? You were
I
grade
was
what?
grade school eh. I don't remember the exact
Yeah.
tawag dun grade,
You
but
were
then
young grade school or old grade school?
young grade school, like young grade school, I don't have many memories pa of those ages. Like I remember watching, but I don't remember like going to the game and
Yeah.
like the memory is gone in my head. Okay, my question is, and for all the guys out there who play basketball, nakakagwapo ba ang basketball?
I guess to a certain extent, but I think it's not the basketball na nakakagwapo. It's the confidence that they have when they play basketball
Mm,
that is
okay.
nakakagwapo.
Oh, it's the basketball. It's the baller energy. Okay, I get it. I get it.
I
Before
wouldn't
I
know
would
if it's
think na ano, before I would think na parang like the more times the basketball goes in, like the higher my percentage in shooting, like the higher my attraction. Like this is me in grade school. That's why in basketball I always like to just shoot the ball. Like I don't like driving in and getting hurt because it's the least effort, biggest reward. Like you just have to jump. And if it goes in, it's more for me, mas guwapo yung feeling ng ano eh, yung swak sa
yeah,
net
of
compared to
course.
parang, oh, you're getting hurt, then it's the same amount of points naman. Okay, let's go.
I think though, I have to say that when I was in high school, yes, it was the being a basketball. Kasi my first boyfriend in high school was also in the basketball varsity.
Oh, the baller energy. You're attracted to
Yeah.
that baller energy, no?
No. In fairness, they were my only basketball player
Oh, okay.
boyfriends. Um, so when I was younger, it was also the superficial, kumbaga, that I looked at it. Parang, oh, basketball player. Parang, wow, people will think I'm cool. Parang, syempre, when I was younger, yun yung mga thoughts ko. But when I got older, ito na nga, when I met JC, I was much, much, much older and I hope much wiser
Iba na yung
because you asked me
priorities.
that question. Oo, that's why, yes, pogi, but ang nakaka-pogi is how they carry themselves because of the confidence that they have. That siguro is brought about by basketball. But it applies to anything. Ah. If someone is so confident because
Ah.
they're a musician and like they performed a song and iba yung high niya. Parang that also, so it's more of the person, how the person carries
Yeah.
himself that
Oh,
is
but
attractive.
nakakagwapo ang music. I think that it is I would
Nakakagwapo.
like to argue that it is a scientific fact na nakakagwapo ang music. Okay, wait lang. I got a follow-up question with the basketball thing. You're saying that it's the confidence, but then, let's say, all factors aside, JC is the star player of Ateneo. Is he as guapo as he would be as the last person on the bench? Like, would you say that like you would be the same, like your the attraction to you, the pull to you, would it be the same if you were the star? Same confidence. Like, he's still very confident. He walks tall and everything. Pero, star siya versus last person on the bench.
I actually never met him when we were in Ateneo, so
Oh.
I don't know. Yeah. We only met years after we both graduated. I'm 2 batches
Oh.
older than him. About the your question on the star player versus Bangko,
Uh-huh.
I
But same
specifically asked,
confidence.
yeah, I specifically asked myself this question when we were together na, and it was before we got married. And I remember thinking to myself, gusto ko ba siya dahil basketball player siya at et cetera, et cetera. kung normal tao lang ba siya, mahal ko pa rin ba siya? And the answer was yes. That it was the personality, the work ethic that I fell in love with. So, to answer your question, initial attraction, for sure, it would play a role whether star player or bangko. But
Yes.
when you're actually in the relationship already,
It
it
doesn't
doesn't
matter.
play.
It doesn't matter how many
Hindi,
minutes he
yeah.
gets. Yeah.
Initial attraction, maybe yes, um, I would say. But actual relationship, it's the personality that would matter.
Of course. Well, thank you. Thank you for being honest. I was thinking that baka there would be like a safe answer of like it's not the role, like
Ah,
baka it's the coach or something. Anyway, last few questions. What is do you remember the biggest perk you received because of your status? Like pinuuna ka ba sa pila or oh, kasi Bianca Gonzalez napa whatever's yung whatever.
I wouldn't lie, there's a lot. There's a lot of
Oh.
privilege that being a
Mhm.
public personality brings. There's a lot of crap that you get for being a public personality,
Yeah.
but there is also a lot of
What would you say is ano na
pros.
lang? What would you say is your for example, I would imagine if you're in the grocery and you're looking for something, like they're gonna volunteer to look for
No
the ketchup
naman.
for you, for
No
example.
naman. I just I'm not a general fan of VIP treatment. Like
Oh,
in general.
really?
Syempre, I appreciate a nice dressing room that's aircon. But kumbaga, like, I'll eat with everyone. I'm fine with
Oh,
that.
yeah, yeah, of course.
What I would say is the biggest pro
Perk.
about it is
Uh-huh.
that because I have the job that I have, I am more confident in approaching people or reaching out to people I've never met before. Meaning, for example, I had to interview, for example, a Senator Grace Poe. I had the confidence to even make that text or send that text because I work in the public sphere. So I think it's more of that. I know that I have the confidence that I can text to reach out to a powerful person, and I also know that because I'm where I am, there are higher chances of me getting a reply.
Papansinin ka.
Parang ganyan. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, that is real. I had that when I won the mixed video search last year, and then one of my best friends told me a few months after, na parang Anton, parang his words were confidence bloom. Like nothing changed. Like my weight was still the same. I still took the same number of baths, but then he said that there was like a confidence boom. So I super get it. Okay,
Yes, for sure. There is a confidence boom.
last two questions naman. What do you miss most about your 20s?
Oh, wow. The freedom to do anything I want whenever I want, for sure.
Actually,
When you
there's
have
less freedom now.
um, freedom in the sense that now, if there's something that I want to do, I have to consider my kids. What will they do? I
Oh.
have to make paalam to my husband. Not have to, but it's something that I want to do. I make
Mhm.
paalam to my husband. Versus like when I was in my 20s, oh, I have a free weekend, okay, I'll go to Boracay. Yung parang things like that. Or like, oh, I have a free week, I'm going to fly to visit my brother. Now I can't just up and go because, of course, I'm leaving my kids and my husband at home. So it's more of that, like the spontaneity of the
Okay.
things I will be able to do.
Is that something
So
that
while
just
you are
reserved to
in
the
your
20s?
20s,
Yeah, no,
please
that's the thing.
go for it.
That's the thing. I told myself 2020 like, oh, this is I remember the end of 2019, like there were like a string of parang New Year parties and I was really like, yeah, this is the decade 2020 is like I'm 20s, I'm earning na, not married or anything. Like this is I'm going to go out adventure. Boom, Mayon exploded, boom, COVID happened and everything. Is it something reserved to the 20s? Like I thought now when you have your own money, when you have your own place, you even have more freedom. Hindi pala?
Yeah, no, it's true. It is. Like, I got married, I was 31. Definitely, when you have more of your own money, you are free to do more things. My point is, my advice for you is while you're in your 20s, and if you do plan to settle down in your mid or late 30s, your 20s is honestly, for tiring yourself out. You have to do it while
Noted.
you have the energy for it. Because when you get to your 30s, wow, you'll feel the tiredness. So while you're in your 20s,
Oh.
oh my.
Okay, okay. That's looking back at the 20s. But then now, what are you looking forward to the most naman in your 40s? Kasi people say na parang this is when you kind of understand the life on another level na. There's a different wisdom, more zen mode. So what is it that you're really looking forward to in your 40s?
A lot, definitely a lot. When I was in my 20s, I was looking forward to being in my 30s. Now that I'm in my late 30s, I'm 37, I am definitely looking forward to being in my 40s. They say that the older you get, the more you don't give a shit. Parang ganon, di ba? That's what they say. I'm looking forward to seeing my kids grow. Um, Although it's scary to see kids so small grow in a world like this.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to growing older with my husband, definitely.
All right. So anyway, Bianca, thank you very much. I didn't know that this is how long our conversation has been going on. Thank you for your time and especially for your generosity with your answers and indulging me with all my random questions. Is there any last thing you'd like to say? Kasi alam mo naman na ngayon, everybody really is so confused and lost and we can't help but ask, paano ba to? Paano na? What's gonna happen? Is there any last thing you'd want to say?
First of all, thank you again for inviting me. I enjoyed our conversation. I hope may napulot ka. And to
Dami, marami.
whoever watches this, I hope this was worth your time listening to this. I'll tell you to answer your last question, I'll tell you parang the mission vision of Paano Ba To in the first place. The reason why I formed Paano Ba To was because nga so many people would just come to me with their problems. I don't know why, if I'm a problem magnet or what, but they would just share openly, whether it's through DMs or someone I meet physically. And so the mission of Paano Ba To has always been two things. One is to know that whatever it is you are going through, you are not alone. You may think sometimes when you have problems na, why me? Bakit ako? But little do you know that the person in the house across to you has the same problem, just in a different environment, in a different level of intensity. And the second is, whatever it is you are going through, you will get through it, which is why I do share stories of people who have gone through that problem and have overcome it, because I like showing that whatever problem it is talaga, there is a way through it. So I hope that answered your question.
All right. Thank you again, once again, Bianca Gonzalez-Intal. Thank you very much.
Thanks! Bye, everyone!
Bye.